Hey guys, it's Haley and welcome to another bookish video. Today we're kicking off my Texas Book Fest vlog. If you don't know about Texas Book Festival, it's basically an entire weekend of events for readers. It happens downtown in Austin, Texas. It is completely free to attend, and it's going to be authors talking about their books. There's book shopping. There's just a lot of book inspired events going on, and this year they invited me to go with them. They're not asking me to do a sponsored video or anything, but I thought it would be cool to show you guys the experience of getting invited to the festival. So today is Friday and there is an author kickoff party tonight. The general public cannot get into this, but because I'm invited, I get to go to the author kickoff party. And that's where we're gonna start out this vlog. I'm gonna be creeping on these authors. I do have the chance to like talk to them, connect with them on a more personal level than at the festival. But let's be real, is the social anxiety gonna allow me to actually speak to people? Or am I gonna stand in the corner and drink free drinks with my +1 and just have a really good time and overhear people's conversations? Stay tuned. I don't really know yet, but I'm really excited to go. So we are going to check it out. It's also downtown at the Contemporary Art Museum, which I love that place, and I believe it's on the rooftop, so it's gonna be vibey. I have to pick out my outfit, and I also have to decide what I'm reading in this vlog, because obviously I have to read a book during the weekend of Texas Book Festival. So I put up a poll on my story. Let's check the poll results. Ooh, okay, so right now Whistle is leading the charge. We have 20 votes for Black Flame, 20 votes for Devil She Knows, and 38 votes for Whistle. So Whistle has literally double the amount of votes as the other two. I think we gotta go with Whistle. Throughout my Texas Book Fest video, I will be reading Whistle by Linwood Barclay. This is about a mother who's been through a lot. She needs to move herself and her child out of the big city to process the grief, the trauma she's undergone. They move to this isolated, beautiful house in upstate New York. The son finds a creepy little train set and odd things start going on. This sounds very standard, like haunted house vibes, maybe a little bit of Hidden Pictures by Jason Rekulak, which I really like that book. But people say something about this, the way that it's written, I don't know, is just terrifying. Like people have said that this is insanely scary. So I'm really excited to read it. Obviously, I'm not going to be getting into it right now because we're going to be going to the kickoff party, like I said. So let's pick out my outfit. Okay, hi. This is my bathroom. I don't know that I've ever vlogged in my bathroom. Here she is. I think I'm gonna go with this dress. A good little boob caressing moment. I don't know. If anyone wants to do that tonight, I'm single, so I can do whatever I want to. And I think the vibe calls for a tall black boot. Like I think a tall black boot and my leather jacket with this would just eat. So that's what we're doing. If you're a person that likes feet content, you're welcome. No one will know that under my boots I'll have sneaky I'm reading socks on. Hee hee, not now. I'm reading. I got this from Book of the Month and no one will know that I have that little detail, but I'll know. And it makes my heart happy. Final looks. Let's go get my bagoo and we are out the door. My best friend is obviously going to be my +1, Danny. If you have been around my channel for probably any amount of time, you know my childhood best friend Danny. She will allow me to be passenger princess if I provide the entry to the event, and so she's driving. I love her for it. Also, I'm very excited to bring my brand new bagoo bag. Look, it has bat embroidery. This was hand embroidered, one of a kind. I literally got it at this little shop in Lockhart, Texas. It was an amazing find, so I'm excited to carry it. But oh my god, it's almost 6:30. We got to get out of here.
Daddy's home.
She said I love being in the vlog.
I love being in the vlog.
We're going to the kickoff party. Let's go.
minutes away.
Huh?
I'm 16 minutes away.
That's not bad. The walk was going to be 10 minutes and we'd have to walk back 10 minutes for marinara.
Moonbeam ice cream, mystical, magical, no baby. How does a moonbeam get
Ice cream.
ice cream? What do they have to do with each other?
I'm a moonbeam just looking for my ice cream, if you know what I mean.
Cause it feels so mystical, magical.
Where are we going?
I don't know.
Girl, you do. No, you're supposed to give me a burger. I want the burger. I need the burger. Please. You agreed.
Star Trek?
Start the trek. You love like nerd shit. Imagine this as a quest. Okay, it's a quest to get the burger. Okay, she's ready. With the moonbeam. And it feels so mystical, magical. Moon and beam and ice cream. Hello vlog, good morning. It is Saturday and the first official day of Texas Book Festival. I had so much fun at the little kickoff party last night. The free wine was amazing. Also, when like one of your favorite thriller authors ever tells you she's starstruck by you, I nearly died. If you're a fan of Ashley Winstead, you should be, because she's iconic. She's amazing. Not only do I love her books, but she's just a wonderful human being. Met a ton of bookstagrammers. It was so much fun. And then I had a chill morning this morning, just making my tea, making my breakfast, getting ready, hanging out with the dogs. And I did get to part 2 of Whistle while I was sitting this morning. I don't know who Harry is, but we're about to follow Harry in part 2. All of part 1, we were following Annie, who is the mother from the synopsis. She has had a rough go of it. She's a children's author, and we know that she's haunted by loss. We know that the father of her son is not in the picture, so we kind of assume that the big loss that she's grieving is him, and that is a part of the story. But there is an even more gut-wrenching loss that I'm not going to tell you about. I think you need to read it in the book. My stomach dropped when I read about it. And all of part 1, we follow them coping with the loss, moving into this country home, and hopefully starting fresh, but there's already creepy things beginning to happen around the house. I wouldn't say that it's scary yet, but I definitely enjoy it. Like, it's very compelling, it's atmospheric, it's easy to read. Love it so far. So I'm gonna bring my little book with me in my bag to the book festival. I have some really fun sections that I want to see today, so me and Danny are gonna run around, but the first order of business is I have to go pick up my media tag, and they have like a little bag for me. So we're gonna start there. Before I go, let me show you the fit. I've got this little martini t-shirt on. I want it to be super comfy, but also cute. I have these like dual toned checkered pants, and then some loafers. Don't mind the pile of books on the floor. That's from filming my TBR, but yeah. Here we are, ready for day 1 Texas Book Fest. Let's go. Oh my god. That was complete and utter chaos. Book festivals and like events like this are always like overstimulating and just like a lot going on for me, but this year I don't know. At one point we just had to escape, and that's why we went to that little Italian restaurant. So we saw a couple good talks, we walked around, I got some books, but I just could not handle like the signing tent and walking through the streets. We'll probably do more of our exploring tomorrow. Hopefully it's not going to be as crowded on Sunday as it is today. I did want to mention I just got in my car getting ready to drive home, and before I did, I saw one of you. I actually saw a ton of you, which if you waved at me or you came up and said hi, thank you for doing that. I love just seeing y'all's little faces. I really appreciate when you say hi to me. It makes me feel like I'm not just throwing this out into the void, like y'all are real. And then sweet Amanda, who I've known for a couple years through my channel, and her husband David, I actually keep running into them, or we keep like just missing each other everywhere we're going because they're also in the Austin area. And I actually ran into them the day after Halloween, and she was like, girl, I have a book for you. She gave me this signed copy of We're All Guilty Here, which I have not read yet. This is the new Karen Slaughter. As soon as she told me that she had this book for me, I was like, well, obviously I'm not gonna buy it. This treasured copy, which was supposed to be Mr. David's, I'm literally shook. They went to like a Karen Slaughter signing event and you had to like buy a book to get in, and sweet Amanda was like, Mr. David, you do not need that. We're giving that to Hailey. So David's so real for that. Thank you, King. And now I get to read the new Karen Slaughter, and I'm gonna think of them when I do it. The tea is, and I was talking about this in my November TBR, like there are people that talk shit on the internet, there are hate comments, there are weirdos on Reddit, but all of the in-person interactions that I've had with people who watch my channel are genuinely wonderful. Like y'all are absolutely lovely, wonderful people. I would hang out with y'all. I just think people need to go outside and touch grass a little. Like none of that like weird shit talking Reddit stuff has any bearing on actual in-person human interaction. And I know I like make videos on the internet and all of these interactions mostly take place on the internet, but when we get outside of that and we're able to like see each other, look each other in the eye, have the touching grass orienting kind of moment, it's just such a different experience. I'm grateful for when I get to see you guys, meet you guys, all of that. And actually that's very relevant to the Ling Ling Huang talk that I went to. So I'm gonna get myself home, probably read more of Whistle, and we'll have a chat about my recap of what I did at Texas Book Fest today. Hello vlog. I've just been chilling in bed since I got home. That was a lot of social interaction and overstimulation for an afternoon, so I've just been hanging out. I am about 200 pages in now. Got to part 3. Part 2 was very, very different. We like completely abandoned our modern day storyline with our single mom and son, and we went back in time to the early 2000s where this string of weird incidents is taking place in the same small town where the mom and son have now moved to, all based around trains and this mysterious store with this mysterious man who sells the trains. We're learning a lot of lore about him, and something about the feel of this book is giving me classic horror vibes. Like, if you know me, you know my favorite horror movie of all time is Child's Play. I freaking love the Chucky movies. Like the original Child's Play from the 80s is the best, and something about this is giving me that energy. I think it's the juxtaposition of like odd happenings that have a human origin but are speculative, involved with like children's toys and preying on children and families. It's just kind of reminding me of some of my favorite things, and I'm addicted to it. Like I'm really, really liking reading this, and I would lay here and read this all night, but I do have concert tickets. I'm going to a show tonight. Actually, I was supposed to go with Danny, but she was just too tired after today, so I think I'm gonna go with Hoodie Man. If you watch Happy Hailey-ween, then you know I am dating. I'm in my dating era. You know, she's not committing to anyone. She is very much single, but she's having fun, and I don't know if there's anything wrong with that. Some people in this world, in the comments on Reddit, seem to think there's something wrong with going out and dating and having fun casually and unseriously, but I think it's just really a good time. So I'm going with Hoodie Man to the Purity Ring show tonight. I really love Purity Ring, so it should be a fun show. And Hoodie Man actually just texted me that we're going to dinner at one of my favorite places and he's gonna be there a little early. So I think I'm gonna get up, get ready, and meet this man. Have a good little night. I don't have high hopes of getting to bed early necessarily. I don't want to like drink or go too crazy because I do want to be bright and fresh for the second day of Texas Book Fest in the morning. Concert, date, fit check. I'm wearing the same boots. That lighting kind of sucked, so I'll go in here so you can see the sparkly masterpiece that is this little like sheer turtleneck. I have my like spooky kind of accessories. I'm ready to go over. Hello vlog, good morning. I'm about to head out for day 2 of Texas Book Fest, but before I do, I have to tell you so many things. Number 1, the show last night was so good. Oh my god, I had a wonderful time. It was just great. I woke up, I made some more progress on Whistle. We have to talk about this book. It is so good. 350 pages in. This is a long ass book for like a horror thriller. It's much longer than the usual horror thriller that I would read. Like over 400 pages I feel is asking a lot. I didn't notice the length of it until I glanced up and I was like, holy shit, how am I over 300 pages in? It reads so easily. I am so intrigued. The atmosphere, that like good, juicy, classic horror 80s movie atmosphere is so strong, but it has the pacing of a thriller. There's like this small town and this cop, and usually I would hate following a setting like that. Like if I heard a booktuber talking about this and describing it this way, I would be like, oh, it's definitely not for me. But it is. It so is because of how compelling the writing is. In part 3, we got back to the mother and son, and the shit that is happening, it's not just like a bump in the night. It's like, there was a scene in here that reminded me of Southern Book Club's Guide for Slaying Vampires, and if you've read that book, then you probably know what I'm alluding to. Ugh, it just makes my skin crawl. It is so, so effective. This is over the top, chilling horror, but in a way that doesn't feel like a caricature. It doesn't feel like too much. It just feels really effectively scary. And actually, I noticed as I was getting ready this morning, I kept like looking over my shoulder and thinking I was hearing things. At one point, the dog started barking at something outside, and I like went cold and looked around. I was like, fuck, is somebody out there? It's really freaky. I get what people are saying now about reading this book and then feeling creeped out because I'm having the same experience. It's not necessarily that the actual reading experience is scary, because I'm just really intrigued and focused on flipping my pages and learning the clues of what's happening as I'm reading. But when I put the book down, it's like it follows me into my everyday life, and it is so good. So safe to say I'm pretty obsessed. I am in part 4 where we're back to like the small town. Hopefully I'll be able to finish this by the end of the day, just because I want to know what happens, but also so I can give you guys a final review when I close out the vlog. Besides my reading, I'm very excited for day 2 of the festival. I realized that I didn't really recap what I did yesterday, so I mostly just was exploring, walking around, went to the little signing tent, went to the little book buying tent, etc., until the first talk that I wanted to go see, which was about the thin line between love and haunting. It featured Ling Ling Huang, and I was really excited to hear her speak because I loved her book Natural Beauty, and I just got Immaculate Conception, her new book, at the festival, and she had really great things to say about how her real life and her trauma and the things that she's been through is definitely infused into her work, but you do not have to exploit those painful parts of you in order to make good art. And actually, it's probably safer and healthier for you to make art not from a place of pain, but from a place of safety and groundedness, so you can access that pain in a more regulated way, which like so aligns with everything that I believe, everything that I do in my practice. It was really wonderful hearing her speak, and she was on a panel with the author of this book called Aftertaste, which sounds super interesting to me. I didn't end up picking it up because they only had hardbacks, and I'm trying not to buy as many hardbacks because honestly, I only really like the experience of reading a paperback novel, so I'm gonna try not to buy any hardback books anymore just because I know it's not super practical for me. Anyway, Aftertaste is about this guy who has a special ability to eat a meal and then revive somebody from the dead so that person can have one final meal that was really special to them with a loved one who's still living. And he kind of opens a restaurant and helps like bring people closure and process their grief through the sensory experience of eating a meal together. And that sounds so interesting to me. Y'all know I love magical realism, so I'm super excited to check that out, especially after hearing some of the author's story. After that, I was thinking about going to see Chelsea Handler talk. I got like a free pass to that like ticketed event at the festival, but it was at the same time as Tiffany D. Jackson and Chanel, I'm not remembering her last name, but she wrote Needy Little Things, which is another YA thriller. And I've loved Tiffany D. Jackson for so many years. Like, I'm obsessed with all of her books. She is probably my favorite YA author of all time. And I loved hearing her speak. She was just so real. Like, she seemed like a real person. She didn't have that like facade of I'm untouchable, I'm an author, I'm very accomplished. Like, she is all of those things, but she just came across so genuine, and she really spoke from her heart about what it's like to write a thriller and what it's like to navigate writing at all and representing like different communities. Like, she talked about how she suffers with migraines and she feels represented in Chanel's book Needy Little Things because the main character suffers with migraines, and she puts different pieces of chronic illness in her books. Obviously, she represents the Black community. She talks about writing her books for little Tiffany, and that just like struck me so deeply. I love the way that she talks about giving herself the representation that she wishes that she had growing up. I think about that all the time. I was actually just talking about that with my therapist the other day, about how I wish that I had this like casual LGBT representation growing up, because truly I think my relationship to my sexuality is so fucked because the only representation I ever saw of women being in love with women was either like a super masculine woman and a super feminine woman, which I don't really resonate at all. I couldn't really see myself in that dynamic, or it was like dirty and hidden and pornographic and only for the male gaze, where it was like this girl on girl thing. So it's kind of transformed my life recently, just imagining my younger self engaging with queer representation that's available today, and I get to do that as an adult and like invite in my younger self to witness it. So yeah, just hearing Tiffany D. Jackson talk about that was reminding me of what I'm going through right now with that and how important representation is, especially for younger readers. I just had a wonderful time at that talk. After that, me and Danny again like did some walking around, exploring. We had a couple more sections that we wanted to go to, but we just ended up getting overstimulated and going to lunch instead, and honestly, we had a wonderful time. So I'm excited to do it all again today. There's only one section that I'm really excited to see and I'm highly anticipating. It's featuring Margarita Montemor, which I love her book Una Out of Order, so I'm really excited to hear her talk. And yeah, we will go from there and just see what else we get into for the second day of Texas Book Fest. Let's go.
Whatever you want, whatever you wish.
Listen, would y'all want to have an Italian mother-in-law?
being 5 p.m. and this is the state of the lighting. Oh my god. It's literally 5:30. I hate it here. I hate it here. But you know what I don't hate is Texas Book Fest. It was so good today. We only saw one actual section. We did see the thriller talk with Joe Piazza and Margarita Montemore. It was all about like magical realism elements from Margarita Montemore and also glam but real elements in like women-led thrillers from both of them, and it was really, really nice. It made me want to dive into both books immediately. I find that every single time I go to an author talk, I'm just like so much more motivated to read the work that they're talking about. It just sucks me in. Specifically, those two books sound amazing. I'm actually thinking that I'm gonna start Everybody is Lying to You, which is the Joe Piazza thriller, when the new season of Secret Lives of Mormon Wives come out, because it's similar vibes. Like, it's about a mommy influencer conference and a murder that happens there, and that just sounds so fun. To watch The Mormon Wives and to read that book at the same time, like, I'm gonna be living for it. So wonderful section. And then we just walked around book shopping. We went to the tiny bookshops, the mobile book carts that they had there, and that was so fun. It was literally right out of my tiny bookshop game that I've been playing on my Switch. Like, it was exactly like it, and I was like hearing the music play in my head, and I was like, oh my god, I'm one of the customers. Like, I live for that, and it made me want to play my Switch. It was just such a fun day, and of course, we cannot have a bestie day without ending it with a patio debrief. Like, we were walking back to our cars, and it was like, oh, there's a patio, and they have Aperol Spritz, and what if we just split a thing of fries and like debrief the weekend? And of course, we can talk about the same thing over and over and over until we die. So that was what we ended our little Texas Book Fest experience with, and it was so much fun. I wanted to show you guys the couple books that I picked up today. First, I did get Dollhouse Academy. This is the new Margarita Montemore book, and this one sounds so good. It's so different from what she's done before. It's a mix of dark academia and weird magical realism, all about a school in the 90s that is set up for the creation of like the next big Disney star. They're not actually Disney, but it's like a Disney adjacent thing. It's almost like Disney star boot camp, and they generate the biggest pop stars and actresses of the day. Something creepy is going on at this school. We don't know what it is. We have to find out, but it sounds so good. And then this one I picked up when we were book shopping yesterday, but I didn't buy it because I was just overstimulated and overwhelmed and the line was really long, so I ended up getting it today. This is Love in Focus by Lila Lee. This is a femme sapphic romance, and it just looks so adorable. I feel like I'm just gonna fly through this. I'm looking for more femme sapphic romances, so if you have some that are your favorites, please comment them down below. And then the last book that I picked up, this author was not at the book festival, but I got it in one of the book carts. This is Nobody Knows You're Here by Bryn Greenwood, and I've never read from this author before, but it sounds like a crazy intense kidnapping hostage situation thriller. A woman wakes up and she is under lock and key in an isolated mansion in the woods. On orders from a shadowy criminal organization, armed jailers are making the rules for the captives, enforcing them with unflinching violence. So our main character has always been the nice girl, but that's not going to save her anymore. She has to step up. The only person she can rely on is herself, and now several of the child hostages with her are relying on her as well. So we basically are following a prisoner escape situation. I love kidnapping. I love hostage situations in a thriller, so I'm hoping that I'm really gonna like this. Also, like, just imagining it set in the woods. This could be good for winter. If you've read this, let me know your thoughts, because I kind of picked it up on a whim. So that's my little mini haul, and it was such a wonderful day. I could close out the vlog here, but I obviously want to give you some resolution about the book that I've been reading. So I'm about to lay down, finish up Whistle, and then I will close it out with a final review. And I have very high hopes. Like, I cannot wait to finish this. I've been waiting all day. Like, obviously I had fun at the festival, but in the back of my mind I was like, whistle, whistle, whistle. Like, I am so excited to finish this book. Hello vlog. It is much later and I've finished up Whistle. This ending was crazy. I could have never predicted it. Honestly, I recommend this for anyone. Like, I really think anyone would get a kick out of this. It is genuinely like I am seeing this imagery in the back of my mind when I put the book down, and it's freaking me out. I literally didn't want to go into my bathroom in the dark just now because of my reading experience of this book. Hands down a 5-star reading experience. But let me tell you a little bit more, because I would also give the atmosphere a 5-star. I would give the character development a 5-star. The only place where it didn't land perfectly for me is the resolution. I really didn't love the resolution of one half of the storyline. So obviously we were flipping back and forth in each part, following the mother and son and then following this small town in the early aughts. With the mother and son, I think it stuck the landing perfectly. I loved the character development with both the mother and son. I loved how their stories wrapped up. However, the piece with the small town and the meaning behind it, I felt like it was such a cop-out, and I got really entrenched in the atmosphere and the characters. Like I mentioned, I loved those elements just for that storyline to kind of shrivel without any closure at all. And then on the topic of meaning, I thought that this book was going in a certain direction with like the evil speculative forces that were going on, but it ended up going in a different, weirder direction that I respect, but I'm still kind of gauging how I feel about it. So I definitely wouldn't give the meaning a 5-star as well. I think overall, I am gonna land on a 4.5 out of 5 stars for this book. Like, for a 5-star book, I've become a little bit more discerning over the past couple years. I feel like I used to give out 5 stars like candy, and if I read this a couple years ago, I probably would have given it 5 stars. But in the interest of being a little bit more critical about my reading, because I'm not just like full throttle obsessed, I'm gonna give it a 4.5. But I do think it was so scary, so cool, so well written, so well paced, especially for a little bit of a longer book. I think if you like horror, if you like thrillers, you definitely need to pick this up. I think the like 80s classic horror comparison stands up. There were a lot of moments near the end that really reminded me of Child's Play, and they actually referenced Child's Play at one point in the book, so I kind of felt like I got some validation for my comparison there, and I really, really loved the feel of that. So that is gonna be it for this little Texas Book Fest vlog. I had such an amazing time. Thank you so much to Texas Book Fest for inviting me, for having me, for gifting me books, and inviting me to all the different events. I had a blast. I loved hearing all of these authors speak and learning more about their books, and just engaging in conversation about literature is like my favorite thing ever. It's why I started this channel. So I hope you guys enjoyed getting a peek at that, and I hope you guys will pick up Whistle and you enjoyed my reading experience throughout this weekend. Thank you guys so much for watching and coming along with me. If you enjoyed this video and you want to hang out with me more in future vlogs, videos, wrap-ups, TBRs, hauls, etc., please subscribe down below. And if you liked this video in particular, give it a like, because it helps me out with the algorithm a little bit. Thank you guys again for choosing to hang out with me today. I hope it's a good one. Don't forget to go to therapy and read a book this week. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!